Good morning. Welcome to our Shotsuki Hoyo for January 9th, 2022. We will begin service with ringing of kansho, followed by Reverend Mukojima reading the names of the Shotsuki honorees. Then we will have sutra chanting of Sanbutsuge. Then the Dharma School 5th and 6th grade class will lead the reading of the Six Paramita. Then Sensei will give a Dharma message and we will close service. Thank you for joining us today.
Namanda, Today, on this occasion of the Mountain View Buddhist Temple's January Shotsuki Memorial Service, we come before the image of Amida Buddha to express our sincere respect for and gratitude to the Shotsuki honorees. As I read the Shotsuki names, please join me in silent meditation so that we may think deeply on their continuing influence on our lives. 信子赤星、清志青柳、ロナウド浅田、つゆ子浅田、一郎遠藤、重子藤井、富蔵古市、吉江古市、安子古章、秀美古沢、メリー平本、清江平野、トム平野、フランク広畑、アラン星、ロバート星、正三郎星、清子稲森、節子池上、グレイス石井、ミノル石井、玉江石川、シャーリー石丸、ロナルド家村、いつよ加藤、勝子コーチ、宗男正樹、ベリー・ジェーン増川、ジョー松本、津谷長崎、ジョージ中野、春代中野、ミサオ中野、ヤシチ中野、セルビア奈良、久江西本、勝見西村、海地岡崎、純沖野、ブラッド奥野、和子奥野、悟奥野、津屋子尾崎、清音、ジョン斎藤、キャロライン栄、ドリス栄、品次郎佐竹、ラリー島本、友江島本、トム杉本、シーク立花、リンダ高橋、新三郎富樫、吉光徳富、トーマス塚本、吉尾山口、由美米田、ジェームス吉野、ベン吉水、ヘンリーユサ。Please put your hands together in gassho to show our deepest feelings of gratitude to this deceased family and friends who have brought us together today to encounter the Buddha Dharma. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu, 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 Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu. the one love, it's 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 the one love.
And now the 5th and 6th grade will present the 6 Paramitas.
Donna, giving. I shall give unselfishly to others.
Sila, discipline.
I shall follow the teachings of the Buddha.
Shanti, patience. I shall be patient and understanding.
Vidya, endeavor.
I shall do my best in all things.
I am patient.
Sydney. Sydney?
I shall reflect on the teachings of the Buddha.
Prajna, wisdom. I shall seek the light of wisdom.
Please join me in Gasho. Namo Dapsu.
Namo.
Doubts.
Namo Dapsu.
Now in doubt.
Namo Dapsu.
Now in doubts. Now in doubts.
My eyes being hindered by blind passions, I cannot perceive the light that grasps me. Yet the great compassion, without tiring, illumines me always. Namanda, 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 Namanda. Good morning, everyone. Happy New Year. Thank you very much for joining us online for our January Shotsuki Memorial Service this morning. I hope that all of you had a great holiday season. Hello, everyone. Happy New Year. What's up? Hey, Sensei, nice to see you. Hi, Putra, nice to see you too. Thank you for coming. You're welcome, Sensei. Did you have a good time during the holiday season? Yes, of course. That's good. Did you do anything special? Yeah, although my family and I stayed at home, I enjoyed reading books. Wow, that's nice. What kind of books did you read? I read some Aesop fables, like The Ant and the Grasshopper, The North Wind and the Sun, and so on. Wow, my kids also love to read them. I like his story about the dog and its reflection. Have you ever read it? No, I haven't. How does that one go? The story is about a dog carrying a piece of meat in its mouth while crossing a bridge. When the dog looked down at the stream below, it saw its own reflection. Mistaking its reflection for another dog holding a piece of meat, it began to bark to surprise the other dog and snatch away its food. Wow! But the very moment the dog opened its mouth to bark, its food fell into the water. In the end, the dog was close to tears because it had lost its food. Wow, that's a funny story. The dog lost its food because it was so greedy, right? So, does this story teach us not to become greedy? Yes, that's right. Wow, I'm impressed with your deep understanding. Very good, Putra. But I think that there is one more important lesson in it. It is a teaching. Look at our true selves.
Putra, do you really look at yourself? I think so, because I can see my reflection in the mirror. Okay, I also see my face reflected in the mirror at least once a day. I use the mirror to help me with grooming. So we regularly use mirrors to look at ourselves. Certainly, using a mirror allows us to see our face and the body. But unfortunately, it cannot show what we have inside. And that's the extremely big problem. What do you mean, Sensei? Okay, Putra, if our hair is a mess, the mirror shows us how messy it is. So we can fix it before we go out into the public, right? But unfortunately, we cannot see ourselves as we truly are, even using a mirror. Even when we have our faults and ugly character traits, a mirror cannot show our state of mind and what we feel in our hearts. I see. That's deep. Yeah, certainly. We cannot see what's in our minds by ourselves. See? Current medical science allows us to see our internal organs using a CT scan and a monitor. Because of this, doctors can give a precise diagnosis of our medical condition. However, even if we use the latest medical equipment, it's impossible to see our inner thoughts or know our state of mind. But, Putra, just as a mirror shows us parts of our bodies, there is a way which allows us to see our true selves. Is that right? What is it? It is to encounter the Buddha Dharma. You can see your true heart and the mind in the mirror of the Dharma. That's why it's so important to live knowing that we do have a way of seeing deeply into our truest nature by using the mirror of the Dharma, or that's the teaching of the Nembutsu. I see. I didn't know that the Nembutsu is the mirror which shows us our true selves. Putra, maybe you remember that Dharma means the real state of things. For example, everything is constantly changing, and all things exist dependent on other things. Yes, I know. That's why Shakyamuni Buddha teaches us that all things in this world are impermanent and interdependent, right? Very good, Putra. It is a universal truth which we need to understand. But when it comes to our own situation, we won't accept this distinct truth. For instance, even if we lose someone we love, we find it difficult to accept that death will someday happen to us. Because of this, we forget a mind of gratitude for everything which make it possible to allow to live at this moment. So we go through life taking so many things for granted without feeling grateful for them. Also, if things don't turn out as we want, we live our lives in vain, complaining and feeling resentful. Yes, you are right, Sensei. I think that most of us live that way. We are selfish and always think of ourselves. Yes, that's right, Putra. The reason we are selfish is because we almost never look at our reflection in the mirror of the Buddha Dharma. But if we do, we can clearly see our truest nature. The precious mirror of the Dharma honestly exposes our selfishness and arrogance. You know, Buddha, as I mentioned before, there is a good story about our arrogance. It is about 4 monks trying a silent ascetic practice. One day, they meditated together in silence. As their practice continued late into the night, the oil in the lamp was consumed, and the light went out. Suddenly, it was completely dark. The priest suddenly said, "Oh, the light went out." The priest next to him said, "You are not supposed to talk." The third priest said, "So you talk too." After a little while, the priest who had remained quiet said, "I was the only one who was silent." Of course, now all of them had talked. "Yeah, I like this story, Sensei. It's really fun and funny, but it makes me aware of how awful our ego is, because it shows how we like to point at and criticize other people's weakness." Yes, that's right. For me, this brings to mind the foolish dog in Aesop's fable. When the dog looks at his own reflection, mistaking it for another dog, the story is really about us. Just like these foolish monks, we tend to judge others' actions without looking at ourselves. We never really look at our true selves. And that's truly an arrogant and a silly attitude. In Buddhism, we call it ignorance, which means a person who is unable to look at oneself at all. I see. Certainly, if the dog could recognize itself, it wouldn't lose its piece of meat. So, if we also could look deep into ourselves as reflected in the mirror of the Dharma, we would never judge others, and we would never lose our friends' trust. Wow, Buddha, you are so smart. Very good. Yes, to be able to see oneself reflect in the mirror of the Dharma is to become fully aware of our true self, living in self-centered way. To really look at oneself is to reflect deeply on selfishness and arrogance. Yeah, certainly I'm living with self-centered thoughts, always wishing I could get my way. Now I'm wondering whether Amida Buddha embraces me because I'm such an arrogant being. I see. You are so humble. Don't worry, Buddha. In the opening meditation, I shared with you Shinran's words from his writing, the hymns of the Pure Masters, which goes, "My eyes being hindered by blind passions, I cannot perceive the light that grasps me, yet the great compassion without tiring illumines me always." You know, this means Amida Buddha will never abandon us, no matter who we are. Wow, how grateful I am for Amida Buddha's compassion. Yes, we should be. If we reflect deeply on our imperfect selves through the nimbus mirror, we will never excuse ourselves while blaming others. Instead, our complaints will turn into gratitude for Amida Buddha's compassion, which always embraces each one of us. When we truly become aware of our true selves, which are filled with arrogance and selfishness, and Amida Buddha's compassion, which always focuses on such imperfect beings. We cannot help but live with respect and understanding for one another. Wow, that's a wonderful lesson, Sensei. I'm sure that living in such a humble way is the best way to show our deep gratitude for Amida Buddha's unconditional compassion. Now, I totally understand how important it is to look in the mirror of the Dharma for deep self-reflection to see our true selves. Thank you, Putra. Look at your true self is the lesson I took from the dark and its reflection. I hope that all of us will understand the importance of always acknowledging our reflection and taking the right path, always with the mirrors of the Nembutsu as our spiritual support. That is because the Nembutsu mirror will allow us to make a new year filled with happiness, peace, and harmony. Thank you everyone for your kind attention to our Dharma talk today. Together, let's make 2022 bright and peaceful with a Nembutsu teaching. Okay? Please continue to stay healthy and have a great day. Happy New Year, everyone. Okay, please join me in Gassho. My eyes being hindered by blind passions, I cannot perceive the light that grasps me. Yet the great compassion, without tiring, illumines me always. Namo Amida Butsu, 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 Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day. Thank you. See ya. Happy New Year. Bye.
Thank you, Sensei and Putra, for your Dharma message today. For those of you who are joining our Sunday morning watch party, if you stay in the Zoom main room, there will be a Japanese language service following the end of this video. Or if you prefer to join an English language discussion group, that will be held in a breakout room from the Zoom meeting, again, following the end of this recorded service. Thank you for joining us today.